This is the world's rarest RV, and I can't believe it's ours. In the last video, you guys watched us drive this beast 2,000 miles home. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the full tour of what might just be the coolest vehicle that I've ever seen. Like, when you just look at this truck, it is just dripping in like 1990s cool Americana classic truck. To an era when cars were just cooler. This RV is built on a 1995 Ford F350 XLT platform, and I think it's the only RevCon that I've ever seen documented with the 7.3 liter turbo diesel engine. Most of them had the 460 big block in it. So this one's got the 7.3 liter Power Stroke turbo diesel. And look how clean it is in here. Like everything is original. Look, the brake booster's not even rusty. None of the bolts have even had a wrench on them before, because this thing only has 44,000 miles and we put 2,000 of them on it. Is that 5% of this thing's total mileage on it on our trip home? So this is my third OBS 7.3, meaning old body style, this style. And I've also had 3 or 4 Super Duty 7.3s. I've never heard one that runs like this one. I've never heard a 7.3 start like that.
Really?
No. This is how they're supposed to sound. This is how they're supposed to run. It just purrs, it's smooth, and it's got way more power than any 7.3s that I've ever driven. And I think it's because it also has 1990s original speed parts. So not only did RevCon turn this truck into an RV, they also souped it up into a hot rod at the same time. Original Western diesel exhaust temp gauge, transmission temperature gauge, boost gauge, and it's got a Western diesel programmer in it. Western diesel doesn't even exist anymore. Oh, it's so swanky. 4 aftermarket captain's chairs that are basically like sitting on sofas while you drive. So comfortably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What else do we have in here? A Sony 10-disc CD changer in a, what do they call that thing? An FM modulator to program it in. I think my mom had one of these back in 1995 in her car. So Tim, the guy we bought it from, he added this, this backup camera because you cannot see anything out of these mirrors at all. Like, they do not see around the RV and you can't see behind you. So best upgrade so far. Bluetooth cassette adapter so we can listen to our music in this thing.
If you had to describe how you feel when you drive this truck in 3 words, what would they be?
World's biggest boss. This thing just commands attention, and it also commands your attention. So like, everyone's looking at you and you're looking at driving. It's a handful to drive. It's kind of all over the place. These Fords have the loosest steering ever, and so you're just kind of constantly going down the road like this. So this truck is 4-wheel drive despite having 6 wheels. More on that later. Shift on the floor, transfer case, aftermarket stainless steps, 2 aftermarket fuel tanks for a total of, I think, 85 gallons of fuel capacity, which we tested thoroughly. I think I might have run it out of fuel. So that's the truck, but when they turned this into a motorhome, they also modified the chassis. So they added additional frame all the way out the back, and then they added this tag axle here. So this is a drive axle that spins, so these tires and the front tires are driven, making it 4x4, but I guess it should be 4x6 because these tires aren't driven at all. This is actually a trailer axle that they added with airbags to help support the extra weight that they added on the back. Starting about right here, all of this is additional frame rail they welded on afterwards, all the way out to here. How long is this thing? I only have a 25-foot tape. I don't think it's gonna be long enough. Can you tell me if I'm in the front? Yep, bumper to bumper. Okay, this little stick is at 20 feet, and then all the way to the back is 11'9", so 31'9" total in length. Yeah, it's an absolute land yacht. Like, oh, it's bigger than the boat, yeah. And you'll see when Courtney takes you inside, this thing is massive inside. It's not just a bumper, it's a bumper platform for extra storage, in our case, oil. We also have 2 10-gallon undermounted propane tanks, one propane tank here, and I think this one does the stove and the heater and the water heater, and then a second propane tank back here. I think this one does the generator. 2 dumps. So this one does the toilet, this one does the gray water. We have tons of storage. Oh yeah, leveling blocks, and that's about it. How big is the freshwater? I don't remember. And it's not like we can just look up the specs on this thing. We kind of just have to figure it out as we use it. Spare tire with sweet alloy wheels. Big shout out to Custom Offsets for helping us get new tires and wheels on this thing when we were on the road. We had a bunch of questions about this in the comments. The old wheels were 16.5-inch wheels and we could not get new tires for the old wheels. And the tires were like at least 20 years old. The size of, you'll see from the inside, but the size of the windows on this thing are crazy. When you're in there, it's like you're just in this panoramic view of the Walmart parking lot, or hopefully the beautiful campsite. When I drive this RevCon, I can't but help imagine the original owner. Were they a clean-cut businessman who used it to impress his clients? An oil tycoon who traveled across country for work? A laid-back real estate agent who went camping on the weekends with his family? Or a Syrian dictator? Things just seemed simpler in the 90s. VHS tapes and the FM radio to keep you occupied, and no smartphones. I want to bring that simple back into my life, and one place that I found is with my shaving. Sometime after college, I stopped shaving. I wasn't trying to look like a scruffy mountain man, I just didn't like shaving. And it turns out I'm not the only one. 2 out of 3 men expect irritation when they shave, and 76% don't have a shaving ritual. Henson is here to change shaving, and they're the sponsor of today's video. Made of aluminum, the Henson AL13 is custom machined to perfection in an aerospace machine shop in Canada. Like, seriously, the manufacturing engineer in me could sit here and admire it for a while. I wonder if they get the brushed finish right here. There's no gimmicky subscription, moisturizing strips, or expensive replaceable cartridges. The built-in 30-degree angle gives it an optimum cutting surface for a shave that won't irritate your skin. And that makes me want to actually shave. It uses a standard double-edged blade. This box has 100 blades in it and costs less than $10. Henson razors don't just look and feel nice, they also prioritize your skin. So add some 90s style simplicity back to your routine and give one a shot by heading to the link in the description below. You'll get 100 free razor blades with the purchase of your first razor. Now, back to the tour. Spare tire swings out. When we test drove it, both the previous owner and I were so excited that we forgot to close this, and Courtney had to stop us on our way out of the parking lot and yell at us that the spare tire was still open. So inside here, the generator. Original propane 3600 watt generator to power all the things on board, including the microwave and the air conditioning, anytime we want. The original fully self-contained off-grid luxury motorhome with air conditioning. This is where we store the poo pipe for emptying the tanks. This is the hitch for when we tow stuff. I think I need to get a matching Jeep Wrangler from 1995 in the same teal color. There was like a special edition that was like teal with an orange stripe. If anyone sees one, let me know. Courtney's shaking her head at me. Well, this is the humongous battery. Have you guys ever seen a battery this big? One single 12-volt battery. 19 inches long, 11 inches wide, 9 inches tall. It's like the size of like 3 normal car batteries. And that powers things like the water pump, the lights, the furnace fan, all the RV stuff that's not the microwave or the air conditioning is powered by this battery. And so far, we haven't had any problems. And this RV house battery is charged either with the solar panel on the roof, which is definitely not original, or when the generator's running, or when we're plugged into shore power, or when the truck is running and we're driving down the road, it charges based on the alternator. Maybe the most important cabinet. I don't think this is what they originally intended this to be used for, but we literally have like an entire shop full of all of the tools we would ever need to fix this thing on the road. Some of them we started our trip with, and some of them we gained along the way. Something really cool that we discovered on our drive home with the water heater of this thing that we did on the camper that we built, that I had no idea. I thought I invented this idea, but it has a marine style water heater in it. So it works either off burning propane, or it also, whenever you drive the truck, the engine coolant heats the water. So whenever we would drive anywhere, we'd have hot water instantly. Pretty sweet. Oh yeah, chrome turn down exhaust. I have no idea why it hangs so low, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was original, because like it can't be any higher to hit that leaf spring. Oh yeah, so the suspension on this thing, it's leaf springs all the way around with airbags on the tag axle. It does have relatively new shocks, but it is still a very rough ride. But it's the kind of rough that makes you smile. So like when you hit a bump on the highway and you go, boom. Well, unfortunately we burned out 2 of the bulbs, but look at that light bar. Dick CPEX off-road lights I don't think they make those anymore either. Big ol' halogen bulbs. Yeah. I did some reading about those lights. Like in the instruction manual, it says that the truck has to be moving to cool them off when you use them. You can't use them while stationary. So like on the one hand, it'd be way more practical to swap them out with like modern LED lights. But on the other hand, I don't want to because they're pretty cool. I think all of the old aftermarket parts that you can't get anymore are so cool, especially because they're in like brand new, perfect condition. Things like these steps right here, the Bushwhacker fender flares, I don't think they make those anymore. This like ram guard thing on the front. So that's the truck and the exterior. Honestly, I could probably walk around this thing and keep talking about it and staring at it forever. But let's go check out the inside because that is actually even cooler than the outside. Whoa.
I don't think I ever thought I'd own any car that had automatic stairs. When you're at your campsite, maybe you don't want the stairs coming in and out a whole bunch, so then you just hit this button to off, and now the stairs will just stay in whatever position they were in. And we figured that out because I think I accidentally turned the switch off and then the stairs were stuck out and we were trying to leave and we thought they were broken and we realized you just have to flip a switch. I hope we don't make this look too glamorous. Owning an old RV is still a lot of work.
Still an RV.
Still old. First thing like immediately that I love about this is the Airstream shape. Like nowadays we're so used to these big boxy RVs and this thing, just like this curve is so like airplane inspired that I feel like I'm kind of getting in this like vintage jet. Yeah, so this is the entry row when you come in. On this side, I really like these cubbies. This is where we put things like our slippers, our flashlights, things you need to like grab and go, the dog leashes. On this side is kind of our control panel, and the vintageness of all of this, like I hope it doesn't get lost because it's so cool. Like look at this control panel. So this is our battery, check our battery level, and we just had to plug it in. It was dead. So whoops, we've got our tank monitors. Looks like our holding tanks are full.
Yeah, we never emptied it at the end of the trip.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
I don't know why we did that to ourselves. What's the last one do?
This is the water pump. Outlets, TV.
Phone? TV?
And then if we haven't been driving the RV and we need hot water, we can turn the propane hot water heater on. This is the generator. And this is one of those things where I think we just assumed it wasn't gonna work. And then that first morning when Riley went to make coffee, he held the button and it just turned on. Like the generator just turned on. Kind of crazy that for an RV that only has 40,000 miles, the generator has 438 hours. That seems like a lot. And then this was the mysterious switch that I should have just known what it was because he labeled it. So that's the step. So when that's off, that's when the step is stuck in whatever position. And then this is the light switches.
To go outside.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool, which is showing the level of the propane, which means you don't have to go outside to check your tank levels, which sounds kind of silly, but like in the middle of the night, if you go to turn the heater on and you're like, do I have enough propane? Well, you can check it right here. So yeah, that's the entryway. And then there's a heater right here, which is actually really cool because a couple mornings it was wet and our shoes were wet from going outside. And so you can actually blow heat right here and dry your shoes off, which is nice. I would say if I was gonna change anything about this, I really liked on our camper, we built the slide out deck and having just a little more space outside. So come on in. This RV has 2 dining rooms. What? Maybe we'll call this the breakfast room because it's across from the kitchen. So this is where we ended up doing most of our eating and you'll see why. Huge window, blinds. So this whole RV comes with color matched blinds that are blackout or light filtering, depending what you want. And like the fit and finish in here, the cabinetry, the blinds nest up into the bottom of the cabinet to not block your view out the window. This does convert into a bed. So at night when it was time to go to sleep, we'd put this table down and then we had a pack and play crib that we could set up here. And this became like Oliver's little bedroom. So right now we're in the RV and then in 1 second, I'm in the truck. This is the biggest pass through I have ever seen. Like they cut so much of the truck cab away. I can be sitting back here hanging out with him because there's no center console. I can also just hop right up into the front seat. So like in the morning, you make your coffee and you just walk into the truck. You don't even have to go outside. Like, I feel like such a prima donna saying that, but how cool is it when it's cold to not have to go outside and around to start the truck? It also means that you have more space when you're in the RV. So like when we're converting the dinette, or if we need to get something out of the way, you have this whole other area that you can put stuff when you're in the RV. So I love this. Like, do you guys remember the tiny little pass-through on our truck camper we built? I thought that was luxury, but now I'm feeling very spoiled. So then we'll go to bedroom number 1, which is above the truck cab. So it's a cab over RV, which is really cool because what it means is that this bed can always be set up. I think when Oliver's older, he'll probably end up sleeping up here. The previous owner made this little bumper to keep his grandkids from rolling out. This is probably a full-size bed.
I'd say at least.
Maybe a little bit bigger. Got curtains. We ended up just kind of using this for storage on our trip. I think we put like our big puffy jackets up there. So much storage. Like you could live in this. You could easily live in this. So there are cabinets. Oh, you guys. Came with an entire bag of VHS tapes. Well, why do you need VHS tapes? Because this thing has a TV and then it's also got a 10-disc CD changer because there's speakers back here. There's a whole surround sound system, so we need to start collecting CDs. I don't think we own any. Yeah, I guess this is like the breakfast nook and then also the family room. We'll call this the family room. And then something that's really nice is that at night, if you want some privacy or it's cold, it's got a curtain here, which is really nice because if you had a friend or a family member going on the trip with you, it gives them privacy up in that kind of front bedroom. But then also, if you're camping in here and you're in a parking lot, you don't want people seeing into your RV through the truck. So it also just gives the back a bunch of privacy. And everything in here is teal, and I love it. Something about the like blush pink and the teal, it's a vibe. More storage. I really don't know what's in most of these cabinets. Diapers.
They're not too small.
There's no way those fit all over anymore. Wipes, plates, now the kitchen. So we've got a faucet and then pretty standard RV thing to have like a cutting board table over the sink. Pretty good sized sink. I wish it was a little deeper. I love the countertops. If this stuff was in a house, I'd probably be like, that's so ugly. But something about it being in this RV, I love it. Cooktop that Riley thought was broken our first night and he took it completely apart. It wasn't broken. So propane 2-burner cooktop, same thing. It's got a cover, which is nice because then we can like set the coffee maker on here or use this as prep space before we're ready to cook. Kitchen storage. Did you know that we had coffee in here still? Score. This kitchen doesn't have a ton of storage because of the water heater. This is a water heater, right?
Yep, that's the water heater.
But the water heater has to go somewhere. So I think what I ended up doing is probably using maybe those cabinets for more kitchen storage. But it's got overhead cabinets here. Hey, it's pasta. Do you guys do that? Do you like get so excited for a trip and then you go on the trip and then you get home and you park your thing and you're like, well, I'll go through it tomorrow, and then life gets busy and 3 months later and there's still coffee in the cabinets and pasta sauce. Plenty of room up here. Like Oliver can be hanging out at the table. I can be cooking. Riley can be fixing something that's not actually broken. Like there's plenty of space up here. We've always had little fridges in our campers and RVs, and I think I thought that was enough until I had this. Look at this fridge and look at this freezer. Like you could fit weeks worth of groceries in there. When we built our truck camper, I told Riley, we don't need a microwave. It's fine. And then now that I have a microwave for like reheating leftovers or buying frozen things, having the microwave, especially with a toddler, total game changer. And this is all original. Like this is how it came. So this is a microwave and an oven, convection oven. Yep. And we've never tried that feature, but like how wrong is it that I just pulled a metal tray out of a microwave?
Yeah.
How does it work?
I don't know.
I don't know. We didn't have a lot of time to do any cooking on our last trip, but I am hoping that this next trip is a little more camping. And the fridge is a 3-way, so it's gonna run on 12-volt propane or 110, depending if you're plugged in or not. Pretty standard fridge stuff. That's the bathroom. Maybe I'll show you the bathroom last. Now we're gonna head to the second dining room / primary bedroom / party room. Because how many people can you fit
booth.
You are further away from me than the entire inside of our other truck camper.
Yeah.
I think you could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, easily 7 people. Probably 9 people if you liked each other.
And look at the view at the windows.
And then, yeah, I mean, back here, like, you get to your campsite, you're in Moab, you're on a cliff, you back up to the view, and then you just sit here and you
admire the dump trucks.
Admire the view or the dump trucks, depending where you're parked. On our trip, this converts down, the table goes down, this turns into a bigger than a king bed. Like, this is the biggest bed I've ever slept in. And so we left it mostly converted as a bed, and we just used that front dinette. And so I think that was kind of their intention with the design all along. There's tons of storage up above. And then, kind of weird, there's another sink back here. The bathroom doesn't have a sink. Instead, they put the sink over here, which I thought was kind of weird at first. But after using this RV, we could put Oliver to bed. He kind of had his own little front bedroom. We could close this curtain, and we ended up with our own bedroom. Like, we could brush our teeth, wash our face, get ready for bed, and then have our own space. So it really, like, this RV has more privacy than any other motorhome I've ever been in. Just the storage in these 2 cabinets alone is more than most RVs I've ever been in. Huge cabinet for hanging your, well, the 90s, your suit jackets, your pantsuits, your power suits. What would you wear in the 90s if you were the person that bought this thing brand new? And then this one came with this wire shelf. I might have complained that the kitchen doesn't have enough storage, but I think that this cabinet makes up for it. Just everything about this just oozes like I'm a swanky person, because you even have vanity lights. Like, go to do your powder your nose, what would they say? Do your makeup in the 90s? There's a holder for a bar of soap. The 90s, man.
Razor blade hanger.
And a razor blade hanger. Like they thought so much of this through. So the thermostat is back in the main bedroom. Middle of the night, maybe you want to turn the heater up or down a little bit. You don't want to have to walk all the way to the front of the RV or disturb someone that's sleeping up there. So they put the thermostat back here. Makes sense. It's a propane furnace. Our first couple nights we stayed in this were super cold, and it didn't have any issues keeping things warm. And then a little vanity down here. Oh, hey, this is where I stored, now I remember, this is where I stored our pots and pans. Oh, and the reading lights. So, like, you want to read your book. They really thought it through. Like, 4 people can be sitting in all 4 corners and have reading lights, or depending which way you're sleeping in the bed, you have lights under or over your head. The Coleman Mach. Riley said this is not original. It's been upgraded, which is fine, because hopefully that means it actually works when we need it. But this would be when we'd fire up the generator so we can run the air conditioner. And hopefully we go somewhere this summer that we need air conditioning, because I'm ready for some sunshine. I think it's just, unless you're gonna buy a ginormous 5th wheel, you're gonna have a wet bath. So this is a wet bath. That basically what that means is that it's 1 room and it's fully waterproof, and you go to the bathroom in here and you shower in here. And it works fine. But it does mean that if someone just showered and then someone else needs to go to the bathroom, you better take your socks off or your feet are gonna get wet. Yes.
Oh yeah, porcelain toilet.
It is a porcelain toilet, which I've never seen in an RV before. Another soap bar holder for your bar soap. Shower curtain, so you put the shower curtain here and that helps keep water from going out. And I mean, it's in really good shape, but it is a wet bath. So yeah, it's got a full bathroom, which is amazing. And yeah, that's
the inside.
That's the inside. What's next?
Road trip.
If you guys are as excited as we are for more RevCon content this summer, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.